I'll be talking about is application. Application for trade financing. In this case, export trade financing. From the point of application, there are challenges with export business. From the point of application, my recommendation for banks is it would be great if bank can design an application form so that you don't forget some things the customer needs to put in when he's applying. So when he's applying, instead of writing, let him just fill the form and sign. In that form, every information you need is provided, including supporting document. We're going to be talking a lot about that also, such that you can document, especially when you are dealing with exporter that claim he has done it before. Supporting document speaks volume beyond what you see. So application for the financing is extremely important. What I realize is, because I have friends who are into, who are doing export business and they look for loan from banks. And I see a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I understand why that back and forth is happening. It's happening because the banks don't have an understanding of that business, of the sector. And they're trying to ask all the questions just to have understanding, which is commendable. But if we have had an application form that is designed in a way that captures every information required, the detail of the person applying, both buyer and seller that is selling to, if he has experience, how many years, is there any payment instrument required, does he have a contract, what is the product he's exporting, what is he doing to mitigate the risk, both payment risk and performance risk, how does he intend to protect the bank, what is the typical tenure of the transaction, how does he intend to maintain quality, how does he intend to get paid, how much is he bringing down, how much does he want to add, how much is he bringing down, how much does he want to add, because he must have a skin in the game, how much is he bringing down as his own equity contribution, how much exactly is the entire project going to cost, what is the profit on this transaction, who are the major buying country of this product, where is he shipping to, is there any peculiar risk for this product, and how does he intend to mitigate that risk? We need to design a comprehensive application form that when the credit risk people see it, all their questions are answered. They now know what to do to mitigate the risk or what they should be asking for. So that at the end of the day, we can avoid back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for months for transactions that are supposed to take place. You know, if you are doing commodity, it's time bound. And for 2 months, you are sitting back and forth with the banks. Of course, I can't blame the bank. The bank needs to protect the depositors' fund. But we could have avoided that back and forth. You know, the issue is the customer don't know what the bank needs. He will just provide information basic. Because he doesn't know what the bank needs. It's now onus on the bank to let the customer know, these are the information I need from you. These are the information I need from you. And like I said, let it be in an application form. Let it be in an application form. That way, it makes it easier. Almost all the question is answered. And then you now critically review that application form. And that form the basis. And the application form, it will be attaching to the application form different items. It will attach the previous document. I'll be talking about that when we get to paperwork or document and how document is important. We'll be talking a lot about that. Now, what am I trying to say basically? I'm basically trying to say that, ladies and gentlemen, the foundation of the challenges with export financing in Nigeria, the back and forth we have, the delay we have, is basically because there is a challenge with understanding from both sides. The bank have expectation, the customer does not know the expectation of the bank. And this is creating challenges, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, we must grow non-oil export. And we must be comfortable to give money. You must be comfortable. And the essence of this program is to make you comfortable to give money. That's the essence of this program. To make you as a bank comfortable to give money. Because if you are comfortable to give money, then you increase the export financing. And we can increase the non-oil export sector. And then we won't find ourselves in the mess. You know, we were here 4 months ago. We were here 4 months ago. 4 years ago, sorry. We were here 4 years ago. And we are here today again as a whole nation. Over 200 million people. Something is wrong. We really are not learning the lesson and doing something about it. And that's the whole essence of this program. That we really can do something about it. That's why I must appreciate all of us that have joined. Because, of course, you have other things you could have done at this time. But I believe strongly it would be a good time for both you and I. So A is application. The application or proposal to bank for trade financing or export financing is the basis for lending. Therefore, it should be comprehensive enough for the banker to take an informed decision. That is why I'm recommending an application form. So that you won't have to be going back to the guy. It is very important for the exporter to be very detailed in his proposal to the bank in order to ensure that the bank is not the one reminding him of some area of operation that are not covered. That will be an indictment. But you know what? If you are provided a form that is comprehensive based on what the bank needs to get, you know what will happen? What will happen is you will have been able to avoid this. You will have been able to avoid this. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Why? The credit person must be comfortable. He must be clear. But the clarity is not there. I will appreciate those of us that are here. If you have people in credit, if you can send this link to them, it would be great if they can join us also. You know them that more than I do. Those in credit. Why? They are the ones that will appraise the credit. They must be clear on what they are doing. They can't afford to lose the bank money. They must be clear. The proposer must provide all the required information about the transaction and the parties involved, and therefore should not leave the bank in doubt regarding the credibility of the request, the relationship the customer have to make it work, the character of the customer itself, and the competence of the exporter. Generally, financing any project, any local trade project, generally involves some level of due diligence. But you know what? Trade financing is adding a level of complexity to the financing. And this makes it require some additional time to consummate. So you are spending more time. You are spending more time. You are spending more time. You are spending more time because you are dealing with other countries, which is what COVID is doing. This therefore means that an exporter should apply for the financing well ahead of time. So that if someone is targeting cashew nut in February, that request should be with the bank latest end of November. So you have the whole of December and January. Because December is even like half month. January is like half month. To be able to appraise that credit and approve it. So like 2 months ahead, it shouldn't really be up to 2 months. It's because of the peculiarity of our environment. It shouldn't be up to 2 months because there are some facilities that people apply for in a bank and within a week, this stuff is done. Why? There is a process already. It's like it's plug and play. And that's the way it should be for export, plug and play. That's the way it should be. And we can get to that point, but we must first be willing and interested. We must first be willing and interested, but we can get to that point actually. We can get to that point. This means that an exporter should apply for financing well ahead of time. This should prevent This is to prevent delays caused by bank policy and processes from affecting the transaction. So in order to ensure that banks take a trade finance seriously and treat it as a credible and genuine request, an exporter needs to make a loan request that makes sense. Now, if the loan request is going to make sense, I'm recommending, can we have an application form, customized application form that will have asked all the questions? It might take the customer a whole day or two to fill it because of information he needs to provide and get ready before he submits. But when he submits, we will have had all the information we need to take a decision at a goal. All the information we need to take a decision. All. A loan request makes no sense if the amount requested is more than the amount needed for the project. Do you know what this means? That means as a banker, I need to be able to know what will this project cost. If the customer said to cost X amount of money, you should be able to find a way to verify. You should be able to. Someone is saying he's buying product from Kano. Number one, the product, you need to know where he's getting it from. And you can use your branch in that region to be able to get information about the product. So you have an idea, this price this man is quoting as the cost, is it reasonable? Is it out of place? You should be using your network to get those information. That means you know where he's getting it from. The product, you need to know, is it commodity? If it's commodity, where is he getting it from? If it's manufactured good, where is the raw material sourced from? Raw material, is it locally or export or from abroad? If it's sourced from abroad, how does he want to mitigate the issue of exchange rate? If it's sourced locally, that is great. How does he want to ensure quality? I mean, detailed question, ladies and gentlemen. Detailed question, ladies and gentlemen. It makes no sense if the tenure requested is too short for the completion of the project. It makes no sense if the tenure requested is too short. If the tenure requested is too short, how do you know if the tenure is short? We'll get there very soon. You need to be able to know which document to ask for. Because the beauty of international trade is that it's a business of documentation. And every document is providing information. When we get a purchase order, you will be shocked. You will see that purchase order is providing so many information that can make you take an informed decision in financing. If you know how much information a purchase order is providing, you'll be amazed. The signed contract between the buyer and seller is providing so much information. So much information. So asking for documents is very important, but you also know what are the information I will be getting from those documents. What are the information that are available for me on those documents that eventually will be useful to take an informed decision on the trade transaction? Look at some example of loan request that doesn't make sense. But you must know it doesn't make sense because you must also have been able to do your investigation. Asking for an export finance facility of 50 million naira when the total cost of the project is just about 30 million naira does not make sense. But that means you must be able to do your own estimation and know that the cost of this project should not be more than 30 million. Why is this customer asking for 50? Is it that he's incompetent or is trying to be fraudulent? What does he want to do with the remaining? It doesn't make sense. But I need to know it's going to cost him 30 million. That means I need to have an idea of the cost. I need to have an idea of the cost. Let me tell you something as bankers. As a banker in financing export, I had to learn some of these things. And you know what it did for me? Is in the course of learning it, I fell in love with trade generally anyway. And that's what I do today. What I'm trying to say is that, sometimes for us as humans, everything that happens in our life is not, God is an orchestrator of circumstances. They are not by chance. That you are doing that business, that you are doing that transaction, handling that transaction, you're in that unit. It's a way of you also learning. And if you decide to put all your best to learn, to help the bank, you will be saving the bank headache today, but you'll be saving your own headache tomorrow, yourself headache tomorrow. When you do your best to save the bank, to safeguard the bank, you are the one that becomes the best. When you give your best, you become the best. When you give your best, you become the best. So you should be able to know the price, and you can know it. Like I said, you already have branch network. You can know it. If you want to know it, you will know it. Just put a system in place to work with branches in that area. Every week, someone in the branch will give a report, send it to the head office. This is the price. Someone, maybe you're in Kano branch, for example. Someone goes, there are no market in Kano. In Kano branch today, as at Monday, this is the cost of sesame seed, ginger, gum arabic, hibiscus, all the commodity in Nigeria. You're getting that price regularly from the Wanu market in Kano. You can get that. You have branches in Kano now. You have colleagues that are living in Kano. So you can get it from Kano. So you can have an idea of the cost. You can have an idea of the cost. Even for logistics, some of us are funding logistic companies. And through those logistic companies, you can have an idea of the cost of moving goods from different parts of the country to Lagos. I'm saying that as a bank, you have what it takes to get all the information you need. You just need to put a system in place to be able to know what are the costs this customer is incurring. And we're going to get to that later on. Is this going to be, as I said, it might take us a month, it might take more than a month. It's going to be very, very comprehensive. And the idea is, I strongly believe if we are well equipped, sincerely, if we are well equipped, you will be very confident and comfortable to finance export. And by financing export, you are helping Nigeria. And I am happy and satisfied that what you are learning, you've been able to help use it to finance an export transaction and grow trade in Nigeria. That will make 3D Impex to achieve its objective of contributing significantly to the volume of trade in Nigeria and in Africa. Asking for an export finance facility of 30 million without an equity contribution of 20 million when the minimum amount required to do the shipment is 50 million does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. But you need to know that this project will need 50 million. This customer is asking for 30. Where is he going to get the 20? Is he providing equity? He said no. So where will he get it? Where will he get it from? Where will he get it from? Where will he get it from? He needs to make that information available. He needs to make that information available. That's very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. Asking for an export trade finance facility tenure of 60 days. Now look at this one now. Look at this one. Look at this one. It's asking for 60 days when document presented. These are some of the documents that must be attached to the application form I'm recommending that we begin to use. Sales contract, bill of lading, account statement. Now, there are other documents, but for what I want to say here, these are the 3 documents I need. Sales contract. It gives me an idea of when the transaction starts. Bill of lading. It let me know there was a shipment. Account statement. It gives me an idea of when money came in. If this customer says he wants tenure or facility of 60 days, but when I look at the signed contract, they signed contract on February 1, but payment came in end of April. That is 90 days. This customer is asking for 60 days. That does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. It does not make sense. Why? Because based on your history, your own history, as provided, 90 days is what I'm seeing on your document. How come you now say you want to do it in 60 days? So what will you do differently from your last shipment that will make you to achieve 60 days? Is it that you have the good already in the warehouse? What is it that makes you to spend 90 days in the first place? So that request does not make sense because the supporting document betrays that request. The supporting document betrays that request. The supporting document provided betrays that request. It's making that request to be unreasonable. How do you want to do it? It's not, everything you're showing does not show that, look, you can do this at this time. Okay, prove to me. Let me have the information. You will be shocked that if we deal with application correctly, sincerely, a lot of export finance facility. You will have nailed it from the beginning. You won't even waste the customer's time, and you will not waste your time if it's not going to fly. The customer then know what to go and do. The customer then know what to go and do, because you can now make recommendation to him. Asking for a pre-export finance facility and expecting the bank to bear 100% of the cost of procurement, logistics, and shipment does not make sense. Your application form will already show how much are you putting down, how much of your own money are you putting down, how much of your own money, what's your equity contribution, and that will be compulsory field, compulsory. If you put it on your, if it's going to be applying online, brilliant idea if you put it online. So it will be a compulsory field. If you don't fill it, you don't submit. Because if it's ordinary paper, I can leave it blank and see submit and then waste your time. But if it's online, it's compulsory, or you put it there compulsory, it must be filled. If it's not filled, we won't accept it. You must, how will you want to do a business and the bank will carry all the risk? You are not going to carry any risk. It doesn't make sense now. It doesn't make sense. Because it's your business. You own the business. So you should have a skin in the game. But you know, the customer needs to be aware of this. He needs to be educated on this. Because a number of them don't know. You know, sometimes because we are bankers, we think, you should know now, how should I give you all the money? Why will you not add? You think so. Asking for export finance facility from bank to fund the shipment to a new buyer without any history of payment to you and without any trade finance instrument to secure the payment does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You want the bank, an export finance facility to fund a shipment to a new buyer. Now, it's a new buyer. You don't have history of payment from that buyer, and without any trade instrument to secure the payment. So that means sometimes you also need to know, put it on your form. How long have you been working with it? How many transactions have you done with this customer? What's the volume? How many number of shipment and how many volume? What's the total volume of payment? Put it on the form. So you can know, okay, this particular buyer, he has done so number of shipment and he has a bill of lading or airway bill to prove it. Asking for post-export finance facility when the payment method is open account does not make sense. Unless there is an instrument to protect. It doesn't make sense. Or it's bill for collection. The next one we'll be discussing before we close today is bill for collection. Or a bill for collection does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. Post-export financing, it doesn't make sense. In fact, sometimes we think post-export financing, because it involves LC, that you are protected. We are going to be discussing that later on the risk of post-export financing and how you mitigate it, the document to ask for, and what each document is telling you. Asking for an export finance facility as a first-timer in export business, a startup in doing business, without a secure payment method and equity contribution does not make sense. Now, I am an advocate of funding a first-timer in export business, but not a first-timer in doing business. For example, you have an import customer who has been shipping to China. You know, on Thursday, the seminar I told you we are having is on partnering. How importer can partner with exporter to raise financing. That's what we're doing on Thursday. How importer can partner with exporter to raise financing. That means importer needs FX, exporter needs more Naira to increase the volume of export. They can work together. And the modality for that we'll be discussing on Thursday. Now, so that means the idea is an importer should be thinking of export. So I'm an importer, I'm doing large volume, I'm not new in trade, but I'm an importer. I'm doing an export transaction. Now, I'm trying to do commodity trading for export to generate FX. I'm new to export. If the transaction will cost 50 million, I'm bringing 25 and I'm asking for 25. And you're telling me that because I'm a first timer, you will not be interested. Even when I have a letter of credit payment method to secure the payment, and my supplier is willing to deliver, quality confirmed before you pay, but you give him a guarantee, payment guarantee, and you still don't want to perform. And why are you not funding? Because I'm new. That does not make sense now. I'm an advocate for financing first timer in export, but not first timer in doing business. Not first timer in doing business. So don't let us put a blanket and say, no, he's new, I'm not financing him. If we put that blanket cover, we are going to be hindering a lot of success stories we'll have achieved or acquired in the course of doing funding export business. In order to be able to ensure that an exporter make available all the information required by the bank, and in order to ensure that the bank staff does not forget to ask the exporter for vital information and documents, then the use of a very comprehensive export application form will be of great benefit to the bank. And that's my recommendation. I'll be glad to begin to see that in bank, that we can begin to use a comprehensive export application form. A comprehensive export application, which will also indicate is it pre or post export application form. So let's move on now to